Amongst the top 12 cases which first came towards the NCLT, steel industry was far more hit than any other industry as such. There was SR, there was Bhushan, there was all these entities were there making where the problem was that the impact of China's production and the flow into India impacted our manufacturing of steel and hence those entities and their production in India on a very direct basis. And they were one of the first and the top biggest cases to have been resolved during insolvency in India. Apart recently said that the mortgage rates in America and the default on that is again at an all-time high since 2000, since the subprime mortgage issued had around, so somewhere around 2000, mid-2000s. Again, the issue is coming that they're at all-time high at 9%, 10%. Now, if that happens again and a bubble bursts, how that bubble will play into India is, it's very obvious that the amount of funding that we get from abroad in our FDIs, it's going to have a direct impact on all the entities that had probably picked up money from these banks. These banks are going to start tightening their reins. They're going to start pulling up all the credit back. They're going to ask for Indian companies to start paying immediately or even recall loans where there is even the slightest chance of a default. All that will also lead Indian entities to go into insolvency, direct issues which are going to be there. And I'll give an example that why are real estate entities, and especially Noida, facing all these issues, because they couldn't at the right time get funding because real estate was a bubble which was being burst in Noida at least. Most of these entities had funding issues apart from XYZ issues which we all know. But funding was an issue where they could not pick up any money from abroad. Even Indian lenders would not want to give them because real estate seemed like what is going to be what happened in the US, that is just a lot of units being made and not enough buyers. It's an industry that's going to fall, and that itself has led 99% cases in the courts are real estate entities more than anything else because the big ones have already been resolved. There are issues like operational creditor issues. That's something that we should learn from abroad, how to treat them better, because a big entity failing automatically results in much smaller entities failing and going into insolvency. We need to know how those countries are doing what they're doing for their operational creditors, letting them have a say in the entire process as well, because you might actually get away by not paying to a bank, but how do you get away by not paying the raw material supplier who himself is just a small player? So those issues are something that I believe we need to learn from abroad and put it. For example, these collective investment scheme companies, you must have seen the HBN case. Now, as compared to HBN, there are other entities which are also before these courts. All these entities have assets parked abroad from the money collected from like 1 lakh rupee, 10,000 rupee, 20,000 rupees collected from poor farmers, poor people, from the remotest part of the country. All these assets are parked abroad as hotels or investments into real estate companies abroad and things like that. And we have no way of understanding where that money went, how do I get hold of that? And that's where this robust system needs to be put into place to understand how the IP is going to get that back into India and solve these issues which are being faced by these sort of entities.